Hello, fuckos. Hey guys, how's it going? You alright? Welcome to episode 2 of the Chris Hunter Comedy Podcast. With me, Chris Hunter. How you doing? You alright? You had a nice week? I've been keeping busy. I've been good. I've been a good lad, like I said I would. I've been working on my new 10 minutes. Because I've got that gig coming up in a couple of weeks. And I want to give them something new and fresh, you know? Because it's quite it's a recurring crowd. You know, they try and go every time it's on. A lot of them do anyway. So you don't want to just go in and use the same material that you've used before, because it's not fair. Know what I mean? But yeah, I've had a busy week. I actually saw my brother this week, which I've not seen him for a while because he lives in Sheffield now, so I don't get to see him that often anymore, which is a bit of a shame. But it was nice, you know. He was giving a talk and giving some sort of awards out at this fancy schwanky sports awards night thing in Liverpool. So that was nice, and there was a celebrity there. I shan't name names, but they had a cold. And I think I may have caught a sore throat from them. I wasn't making out with them, by the way. I'm just shaking hands and whatnot, you know. It's transferable. Look it up. Google that shit. So yeah, that was an interesting evening, you know. They claimed to have a gourmet buffet on, which it was alright, you know. But fuck, who am I kidding? It wasn't good. Sorry guys, but it was not nice. They had these. They called them Parma baskets, and it was basically a bit of bacon. It's Parma ham, but it was a bit of bacon that was cooked as shit, salty as hell, and it had like 4 edamame beans in it, and that was it. It's like, oh, okay, well that'll do me, shall it? And then other than that, I had some butternut squash quinoa pasta salad. Yeah, exactly, quinoa, that fancy word that all them hipsters love using. So I had some of that, and that was dry as shit, but whatever, I don't care, it's fine. But I've got to say, right, there was a bunch of people performing on that night, mostly like, you know, kids groups, theatre groups, choirs, jazz bands, all sorts of stuff. And fuck me, there were some phenomenally talented kids in Liverpool. And I know I sound like some sort of like, you know, nonce fan from afar. That's not the case here, alright? They were just doing a performance. We were all enjoying it. All of a nice, innocent night. But yeah, fuck me, there's some talent there. There's this kid who was singing. And he just started singing show tunes. So straight away, boom, he's got my attention. Fucking love me a good musical. And he's singing away. I thought, fuck, you know, this kid, he's going to go somewhere in the future. And they had these dancers who were off the trolleys, good, like crazy good dancing. Like I couldn't do that. I've never seen a fucking fully grown adult manage to pull that shit off. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they just get dropped on the head loads and they don't feel the pain. You know, I don't know how that really works. But yeah, I was chatting to some of the people who they ran the event, and they said to me, you know, my brother was telling them about what I do and stuff, and they said, you know, he also does some stand-up comedy stuff. And she was like, oh, well, maybe we could book you for next time. And I was thinking, yes, no, it's probably not the best idea in the world. You know what I mean? Because, for example, my favourite word in the world is the word cunt. And I like to just pepper that shit throughout my sentences if possible. So it's not really the most accepted of words, shall we say. So I can't imagine that going over particularly well in a hall full of sports people. And kids and adults and elderly alike. There was this one guy, oh my god, it was amazing. He got a Lifetime Achievement Award, right? This guy was 89 years old and he's still teaching people to swim. That's fucking phenomenal. I wish, you know, I really hope I have that amount of energy when I'm 89. Because he literally, to show how sort of agile and young he was, he hopped up on the stage and then he danced down the stairs when he left. It's a fucking amazing guy. I don't know how he did it. But anyway, yeah, so rambling about that. I went to that event. That was pretty nice. I see, but this past week or so has just been a shitter for stand-ups. You know, we've lost a couple of good stand-ups, basically. It's what happened. We lost, for those of you who don't know, just over a week ago, American comedian Ralphie May sadly passed away. But, you know, if you've not heard of Ralphie May, right, and to be fair, I hadn't until about a year ago. Oh, man, go Google him. He's so fucking funny. He's a big chap, right, and he's got this amazing, like, southern drawl. But he's got this delivery that I just can't pinpoint. And also, he's a really nice guy. You know, he did a nice talk that I listened to, and it's a proper long talk. But it's basically it's aimed at stand-ups and people who are into stuff like that. You know, improv, stand-up, whatever. And it's just like an advice talk, and it was so sort of to the core. There was no bullshit involved with it. He's been completely honest about it. I think it's on like a stand-up Reddit or something. If you want to go find that, it's a bloody good talk. And also, just yesterday, we lost poor Sean Hughes. Irish-English comedian Sean Hughes. I remember I used to watch him on Nevermind the Buzzcocks way back in the day with Mark Lamar and Phil Jupitus. Oh, fuck, man. It's a real shame, you know. I've not heard much from him over the past few years. You know, but he's been writing and whatnot still, but I haven't seen much of his stand-up recently, and we don't know how he's died yet, but it's just a shame. 51 years old, man. Fuck. I mean, Ralphie, we saw it coming because, I mean, you'll see if you Google him, man. He's not a small chap. He couldn't have expected to live forever, you know what I mean? But poor Sean came out of the blue. Poor bastard. And also, this week, fuck that Harvey Weinstein fella. You know, for those of you who don't know, the American, what is it now? Film producer guy. Fucking creep bag. It's come out this week that he's allegedly been basically groping his way through Hollywood, you know, to give people roles and stuff, and like, oh, suck my dick, I'll give you a job, you know, that kind of guy. And that's not how you get a job, you know what I'm saying? You got to be good at your shit, you got to be acty and whatnot. And I did hear an interesting story about him though. Somebody alleged that apparently he took them out for a meal, right? Booked out the whole restaurant so it was quiet. And then he took them to the kitchen, but like a downstairs, out of the way kitchen. And there was nobody else there apart from him and this woman. And apparently, it's not funny, but it kind of is at the same time. But it's not. But apparently he started having a go at himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was choking that chicken, spanking that monkey, and bleeding that lizard. If he starts doing that, and he makes her watch him, and then he finishes in a fucking plant pot. Now, you know, obviously what he did was wrong. But part of me is like, fuck, man. How the hell did he do that? I can't even piss in a urinal because I think somebody might be watching. You know what I mean? But still, I'm not admiring him at all. It's just he's a fucking scumbag. But yes, scumbags and films reminds me of the time when I used to work in the cinema. Because yes, folks, I used to work in both Odeon and Cineworld. Not at the same time, but I went from one to the other. And I can tell you, fuck me, you see some things working in a cinema. I think it was about 3 years. 4 years if you combine both. But yeah, you see some fucking sights, man. I mean, we used to get, like, for example, we used to get Travellers in all the time. And to be fair to them, they were nice most of the time. They were really nice. The young ones were just arseholes. But a lot of the adults, they were nice, you know. But every now and again, you'd catch them doing some fucking weird stuff. I remember we caught two couples, so it's 2 men, 2 women, having it off in the cinema screen, right? And when you kind of stand at the bottom, like the screen's on like a big slope, you know, lots of chairs going up, so everyone can watch the film in peace without seeing some big fat ass head in front of them. And they were towards the back, right? And I remember you stand at the bottom of the slope and you look up and you just look at the people, look for any shifty shit, you know, anybody filming the film, anybody, you know, knocking back a KFC, anything like that, you kick them the fuck out. And then I'm looking at them like, what the fuck are they doing? And I see some bouncy bounce, and I'm like, ooh, hang on a minute, bouncy bounce, what the hell's going on here? And then the weirdest bit, right? The 2 women swapped. Yeah, swapped. One of them got up, went to the other guy, hopped on, bouncy bounce. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So we ended up kicking them out, which is interesting. You know, like I've never interrupted somebody like that before. And yeah, they were kicked out. They were barred, to say the least. Proper, legit barred. Which, you know, it's not a good thing to do. In that same screen, actually, funnily enough, there was a time when I wasn't there for this, sadly, but Charlie was, my other half. And she was in there with the boss, like the big boss man, because it was really busy. I think it was like a Twilight showing or something. So in them showings, basically, when the film finishes, everyone on staff runs in, we're all cleaning up, and then you're out. It's like 5 minutes, you're sorted. Right? And apparently they went into this screen this time, and there's a brownie on the floor, right? That's normal. We used to sell brownie sundaes, you know, fancy. If you're feeling fancy, chuck a brownie in there. Get some more cholesterol in them fat ass veins of yours. Right? But there's a brownie on the floor. So the manager man is like, oh, brownie, whatever. Goes to pick it up. And then one of the girls, it might have been Charlie, it might have been someone else, was like, wait, hang on a minute, that doesn't look like a brownie. Right? And he's like, nah, it's fine, it's a brownie. I'll just pick it up, put it in the bucket. Right, no gloves or nothing. We don't have gloves. Hardcore bastards. And she's like, no, seriously, that does not look like a brownie. So he's like, okay, let's play it safe. Pass me your brush. Right? He grabs the brush, goes to brush it in the little scoopy scoop. And of course, it smears. Because it is a shit. It is a human shit. Right? Not a brownie. A proper dollop of human shit. Right? They're the kind of people you deal with in the cinema. Right? And I wish that was the only time that toilet stuff had been left in the screen. But I explicitly remember picking up a can, going, "Oh fuck, that's a full can," and then realising that can was warm. Right? That was a can of piss in the screen. First of all, right, step one, right, that means you pissed in the screen whilst the film's on, right, into a metal can. Think of the noise of that, right? How are you hiding that? Also, step two, right, fucking can. Have you seen the metal rim on a can? Would you put your dick anywhere near that? I know for shit that I would not. So again, bit of bravery, it's got to be commended, but at the same time, just go to the toilet, you weirdo. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason on fucking God's green earth. Not that I believe in one, but you know what I mean. There is no reason to piss in a can at the back of the cinema. No film is good enough to risk losing your bell end, because that's just a stupid thing to do, isn't it? But it wasn't just the customers that were weird sometimes in the cinema. You know what I mean? Like we had these staff, like these two girls who worked there. I say girls. One was a grown-ass woman, and one was a girl. And they had this fight of all fights. I mean, Jesus Christ. And to be fair, I say fight, it was kind of an assault. It was kind of a one-sided assault. Because there was this girl who, apparently she'd slept with a security guard, right? Which, that's no biggie. Everyone sleeps with that security guard. He was a bit of a hooer. He was a bit of a boy whore. And this other older lady, I'm going to call her an older lady now, right? She didn't like this because she'd been into him a few years before and he knocked her back, right? So she'd found out that the younger one had slept with him. So she corners her in the changing rooms, the women's changing rooms, right? And she beats 7 shades of shit out of her, right? And I don't mean a bit of a beating. I mean heads were smashed against lockers. The locker moved, right? Think of the size of these big, like think of a rack of lockers. You know the metal, proper like gym lockers. You get about 4 or 5 wide, 2 or 3 tall. Like I'm talking big lockers. That moved because of the force this girl's head hit it. What kind of fucking scummer? And they worked together. They were friends. You know what I mean? All this for a bit of dick. And I've got to say, no dick is worth beating your friend up for. It's got to be said. Because, I mean, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't fight somebody for a bit of dick. You know what I mean? But, yeah, customers. I remember I had this one customer once, right? It was really, really busy. It was like, I don't know, probably High School Musical 3 or some shit like that. Something really busy. And I was working in the Odeon. And there's a big queue at concessions where I was working, you know, where you get your popcorn and your drinks and whatever. And there was this, I'll say larger lady, but she was a fat bitch. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because I don't like her anymore. I don't know who she was, but the way she treated me was less than pleasant, shall we say. Anyway, I was doing my shtick, you know, going through people, blah, blah. Yes, what can I get you? Sorry about the wait, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this woman comes to the till and I said to her, "Sorry about your wait, what can I get you?" She was like, "My weight is none of your concern. You think just because I'm getting a large combo, you should be thinking about my weight?" I was like, "Well, I didn't mean that. I meant like, sorry about the wait. There's a long time. You've been in a queue. It's been a while. I'm apologising." So she kicked off at me because she's a fat cow. Obviously, she's self-conscious about it. But you know what? If you're self-conscious, put the fucking fork down. Don't order the large combo and the fucking Ben and Jerry's course sundae. Because I'm going to serve you that shit. And you're going to regret it later. And you're going to feel bad about yourself. You know what? You might fucking deserve it. But I actually met Charlie in the cinema. It's where I met her. We both worked together in that cinema, the very same one. And there's a film out, I forgot what it was called, but do you remember, is it Jennifer Ellison, that Scouse girl? She was in one of these films. Anyway, people have been banging on about her, you know, the staff have been talking about her and being fit and whatnot. And Charlie was talking to somebody behind the counter. She was like, "Have you had such bodies in the building?" And Charlie's like, "I don't care. I don't know who she is. I couldn't care less about that bitch." And then she hands around and gives this woman the change. And the woman she gives the change to was Jennifer Ellison. She was in the building. She got shot the fuck down and her face was a picture. And let's be fair, it made me happy. It made me quite happy to see that, you know. She had a face like fucking thunder. And I didn't like her, so I was glad to see it, really. But yeah, it's been a weird week, hasn't it, for weather and whatnot. Like, the sky's been red. Like, people keep putting on Facebook, "Is it the apocalypse?" Like, no, you tool bag. Look it up, Google it. I found out what it was. It's particles in the sky because of the Sahara. apparently. Some shit about tornadoes and whatnot. You know there's a big storm at the moment. And yeah, dust particles from the Sahara Desert were getting carried across. And it made our shit look red. And you know, I've got to say, it was pretty friggin' nice. It was nice to look at. It gave everything this sexy little red filter. But I feel bad for the people in Portugal. Portugal and Spain, they've got wildfires at the moment. And that shit is rampant. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Like 145 wildfires in Portugal yesterday. Like 25 of them are serious. But I mean, let's face it, any fire is serious. So, you know, thoughts out to the people of Portugal and Spain. It's shit, man. I just feel bad for people in that situation. You know what I mean? I can't do anything for them. But anyway, let's lighten it up a bit. It's been a weird one today, hasn't it? It's been a weird mix of stories and sadness. But let's perk it back up a bit with your Japanese word of the podcast. All right. So last time I gave you a fukuno, which means not possible. Ideal for when you want to get out of doing your washing. Fukuno, can't do that. Sorry, not possible. So today's word is tada. Right? Tada means free of charge. Doesn't cost a thing, right? So next time you're shoplifting, you're slipping that bracelet into your pocket and you go tada, and it's gone. You can't be in trouble. It's free of charge. You said it. You said it out loud. Right? It's not my fault. I said it's free. It's got to be free. Now, yeah, I know last week I recommended everybody listen to the Diminishing Returns podcast. Right? They seem to like that. So I'm glad people are enjoying it, which is nice. So this week, I'm going to recommend to you the Adam Rowe podcast called What's Happening. Right? Adam Rowe is a cracking Scouse stand-up guy, and he's on episode 3 at the moment. So, yeah, give it a go. He's really good, really fucking funny guy. And hopefully you'll enjoy that. And also, if you like this podcast, do me a favour, can you drop us a sub on iTunes? We're live on iTunes now. But the problem is, Apple don't give you any analytics. So, I don't know how many people listen to this, how many people might have downloaded it or whatever. But if you subscribe and drop me a quick rating, then that'll make it easier for me to see what's going on. And also, if you've got any suggestions for what I can talk about next time, or if you've got any questions or whatever, then drop them by, you know. Go to facebook.com/Chris Hunter Comedy, or go to Twitter @ChrisHunterCom, and I'll do what I can to get back to you. So, thanks for listening again, guys, and I will see you probably next week at some point. Bye-bye.